Support American-made tariff-free clothing with American Giant. They aren't affected by tariffs because their clothing products never left the U.S. Get 20% off your first order when you use promo code STAPLE20 at American-Giant.com.
Fall is all about cozy comforts, but when you're prioritizing your health, it's easy to feel like you're missing out. With Hero Bread, you can enjoy all your fall favorites because they're made with Hero Bread sliced bread loaves, tortillas, bagels, dinner rolls, and more. Try their all-new Hero Noodles with 12 grams of protein and just 80 calories. You won't believe Hero Bread's options have 0 to 5 grams net carbs and are high fiber from the taste and texture. They've even got small batch drops of indulgent favorites like the popular Hero Croissant. And right now, Hero Bread is offering 10% off your order. Go to hero.co and use code FALL25 at checkout. That's FALL25 at HERO.co. All figures are per serving of Hero Bread. Contains 2 to 18 grams of fat per serving. See the product nutrition panels on hero.co for more information.
This is totally useless information with Nick and Roy. Listen, laugh, and learn.
Hi, I'm Nick.
And I'm Roy.
This week, we're going to present a very different Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy. It's a bittersweet episode, to be honest with you. Recently, we lost a very dear friend of not only us personally, but also a friend of the show. Our very good friend, George Kash, passed away. And George Kash in the Toronto area and Southern Ontario area, as a matter of fact, was known as Mr. Oktoberfest. And he was also part of the Santa Claus Parade for many, many years. And he was also part of the Joey and Gina's Comedy Wedding, which is where I met him. We'll get into that a little bit later. But I first introduced him to Roy because I said to Roy, you know, I know George a long time, and we're talking one day. And I want you to talk to George because George has this incredible story that happened to him, actually happened to him. And what was your first impression, Roy, of George when you first met him? And mind you, online, because you're in Florida and we're in the Toronto area. What was your impression meeting George on Zoom?
I didn't know what to expect simply because of the fact that you had told me the story,
right? And
then you said basically that you knew him,
right?
And I couldn't believe the story to begin with, but it is a true story. And then I speak with George on the show, and George was the type of guy that you spoke to for 5 minutes and you felt like you knew him for 5 years or 10 years or a lifetime. He was so easy to talk to, a fun, just a great guy. That's how I would explain him. Just a great guy to talk to, and what a funny guy, you know.
Well, his website said it's the George Kash experience, and it certainly was. Now, here's the story. So I'll tell you what the story is all about. So George and I, we speak just like I do with Roy. Roy and I have been friends for 40 plus years, and we speak at least 2-3 times a week, if not more. And same thing with George. So maybe I'll be off the phone with Roy, and then I call George, and then we chat. And he said to me, "You won't believe what happened to me." Well, what happened to you? He says, "I had my Lederhosen stolen." I said, "What?" And I thought he was making up a story, but he's not one to make up stories. He's a great storyteller, but he's not one that would make up a story. And I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "Well, someone broke into my house and stole my Lederhosen." Now, since he's Mr. October, or the King of Oktoberfest, rather, we're like, well, how could you do Oktoberfest without the Lederhosen? So today, we're going to pay tribute to George Kash by re-airing the fun interview we had with George. Now, this was part of our News from Around the World segment, so we presented it as a news story because it was a breaking and entering story, there was a perpetrator, a perp, as this George put it, and he described what happened. And so we'd love to replay this for you. And if you heard it the first time, you'll hear it again. You'll enjoy it again. If you've never heard this story before, it'll be a lot of fun. So bear with us as we pay tribute to the great George Kash as we talk about the great Lederhosen Heist. This story comes to us from Toronto, Ontario. I know usually we talk about these news from around the world.
Florida.
Yeah, there's usually some crazy people in Florida going up to toll booths naked. Today, we bring you to Toronto, Canada, my hometown here where I am, the case of the Lederhosen Heist. Someone broke into our next guest's home and stole his lederhosen.
We searched and found the actual person who is the victim of this heinous crime. Nick, continue.
So to protect his identity, we're going to just, change his name. We'll call him George. George, welcome to Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy.
I am so glad that you found me, and now I'm finding you. So it's wonderful.
This is good. We need to talk about this, and so that we can protect George, even though we're not on video, we've put a bag over George's head.
I took it off. Oh, that's fine. I'm glad.
Yeah. It's not to protect your identity. That's how we treat our guests.
But we searched out and we found George, the Lederhosen Heist.
So, George, tell us in your own words, and if you need a moment to grab a tissue or something, let us know. But tell us in your own words what happened to you just a few days ago in your home.
I woke up. I wanted to go to the car. I go to the back steps. All of a sudden, I see my boots are all over the place, and my jacket is not hanging up on the hook. I see another jacket that doesn't belong to me. I shake it. A wallet falls out.
Oh.
Whose wallet is this? I don't know. I go downstairs thinking I left my jacket by the laundry. No, I feel a draft. There's a window that's open in my basement.
George, did you have pants on when you felt the draft?
Yeah, I had my pants on because I was in my PJs. Because I wear,
just checking.
Yeah, and so I look where the draft's coming from. I have a bookcase, and on top of the bookcase, I had my lederhosen and my lederhosen type shirts, but they're not there.
So let me ask you, George. Can I call you George?
Yeah, by all means.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's call him George.
George. So George, again, we've protected his identity, so nobody knows. He's actually outside the suburb of Toronto, but we won't identify where he is. So George, if I may, why do you have lederhosen in your house?
Because for many, many years, I've been self-proclaimed as the King of Oktoberfest.
Okay, so to explain to the guests that the audience that's listening right now, lederhosen is a German formal dress of leather shorts, normally worn with woolen socks, a white shirt, and suspenders, which have usually an insignia on the center portion of, and it's like a zipper pouch.
Yes.
And they dance a traditional dance called the Schuhblattel, correct?
Well, close enough.
Yeah, okay, There you go. George is not a lunatic. He is, well, we don't know that for sure, but we do know that he is the king of Oktoberfest. The man is a virtual lederhosen loony. So let's go, George.
So you realize that your lederhosen has been.
The man stole his lederhosen.
So yes, but may I interject here?
Yes.
It wasn't the short ones. These were the long ones.
So you had the full leather pants.
Oh, yeah.
They stole a lederhosen. What other items did he steal?
They stole socks that went with them. They stole the shirts that went with them. They also stole, are you ready for this? At my back door, my winter toque and a pair of leather gloves.
So these people were out for ethnic clothing. I'd say this falls under a hate crime.
Yes. So wait a minute. So he took your woolen, your toque, your long leather lederhosen to keep warm, but left his jacket with his wallet in it?
Oh, no, not only did he leave his jacket, he also left his jeans. And he also left a pair of Doc Marten boots.
Right.
And that's why I think he stole my lederhosen, because he lost his jeans. I think he had to go wee-wee or something, or maybe he should have did the poop business. I don't know, but he took my leather pants.
Okay. So this guy literally used your house as a changing room. And did he leave the little number of the items that he took in with him?
No.
No, I'm joking. But no, so he puts on your leather pants,
yes,
your socks, and for those in America, a toque is a hat.
Right.
He puts on your warm hat, and of course the leather pants are a good insulator. And he goes out into the cold, and you don't see this man. This all went on, so he was very quiet with the changing thing.
Yes.
Okay.
I was sleeping.
No, this is wrong.
It was in the morning. I was asleep in my bed.
Well, thank God. So going back to your pajama bottoms for a second, what kind of designs do you have on your pajama bottoms?
Stripes.
Okay. So did you call the cops? Did you report this to the police?
Oh, yes, I called the cops, and they showed up.
Okay.
They took all sorts of information. They took everything that the perpetrator left, the boots, the jeans, the jacket, a set of keys.
Did you take pictures of these items with your phone?
I believe it or not, I took a picture of his driver's license only.
Very good.
Okay.
That was good.
So this.
George, I just want to tell George something very similar to this happened to me once. I left my clothing at this woman's house when her husband came home. I went out the window, and my jeans and my wallet and everything were there. But to go on.
Yeah. He came through the bathroom window. So you called the cops. So now, because the guy left his wallet behind, so he's obviously a novice here. Like, he's no professional burglar. He left his wallet behind.
This guy may be a professional, Nick. I mean,
well, he left his wallet behind. So did the cops find him?
Well, guess what? The cops did not find him, because the next day I get a knock on my door, and I look at who's outside, and then I look at the face. I go, I know that face.
It looked like a German immigrant. The guy was
it wasn't. No, seriously. I'm looking at this face, and I even mentioned his name, and I'm going, it's you.
You thought he was back for a suit?
He came back for his wallet.
Wait a minute. He came back. So the guy who stole your lederhosen and your boots and your woolen socks and your toque came back to your house?
Yes, and the next day in the evening, asking for his wallet.
Oh, wow. Here in Florida, George, we have guns. Everyone has a gun in their home. So this man would have been laying in a baseball bat. Lederhosen.
Yeah. George.
What did you do, George?
No, so the guy knocks on the door. What do you do?
I just said, well, in my language, I can't repeat because it was, boom, boom, boom.
Right,
and so then I said, what do you mean your wallet? How do you know it's here? He had a tracking device in his wallet. One of those new fantastic things, that you can find out where it is, whatever.
Yeah.
Had you put one of those in your lederhosen, we wouldn't have a problem.
That's true, but I didn't even know those existed. So here's the best part.
Yeah.
I said, go to the police station. The cop gave me a receipt for the stuff they took as evidence, his stuff.
Yeah, always got a receipt.
And I said, go to the police station. Okay, fine. That was it. I went to bed. Boom. That was it for tonight.
We'll be back with more of the story of the Lederhosen Heist with George Kash as we pay tribute on Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/zip. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/zip. That's ZipRecruiter.com/zip. ZipRecruiter.com/zip.
You won't see the engineer that slams the Nissan Rogue's door 13,920 times. Or the corrosive chamber that simulates 15 years of life in 5 months. Or the Rogue heat-baked for over 300 combined hours. What you will see is a vehicle that can take punch after punch and keep rolling. Nissan, #1 in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands by J.D. Power. We put it through the worst, so you get its best. For J.D. Power 2025 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Awards based on 2025 model year. Newer models may be shown.
Life is unpredictable, but how you prepare for the unexpected shouldn't be. Take ownership of your life planning with Policy Genius to help your loved ones have a financial safety net in case something happens to you. Whether to cover debts and routine expenses or even invest the money and earn interest over time. With Policy Genius, finding and buying life insurance is simple. You can compare quotes from top insurers and could find coverage that fits your needs and your budget. Plus, they offer life insurance policies starting at just $276 a year for $1 million in coverage. It's an easy way to feel good about and plan for the future. No wonder Policy Genius is the country's leading online insurance marketplace. Don't wait for life to make other plans. Protect your family today. Head to policygenius.com to compare top-rated life insurance policies, get your lowest quote, and make a smart move in under 10 minutes. That's policygenius.com.
We continue now with more of the story of the great Lederhosen Heist as we pay tribute to George Kash on Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy.
There's another part of the story. The perpetrator, I love calling him the perpetrator, showed up.
Very good.
George,
Very good.
can we call
Yes.
you George? Can we call you George? Okay.
Yes.
You can say perp. You can say perp. We understand what you mean.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
We're both
best part
lawyers.
is-
We're both lawyers, but
Yeah.
go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Hey,
we actually
listen.
play them on the radio, but go ahead.
Okay. I love it.
Yeah.
But here's the best part.
Yeah.
The next morning, I guess what? Another bing bing on my doorbell. I
It's him
open the
again?
door. Pardon?
It's him again?
It's him again.
No.
What do you want? What do you want? Like your
No.
from China or something?
Hang on a second. Here's the best part. He said, "Hello, excuse me, but I'm the guy that was in your house," says he.
So he confessed.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And the best part is he has a big bag with him. And guess what's in the bag?
Your Lederhosen.
My Lederhosen.
Wow.
The socks.
Was there a dry cleaning thing attached to it?
No, not yet. Not yet. We're going to get there.
So did you ask him why he came into your house? Was he like stalking you? How did he know that you had Lederhosen in your house?
I don't think he knew. I think by accident he fell into my house because I was kind of thinking that I locked my back door properly, but I didn't. So when he came to my door, I said, "Can you go around the back of the house and show me how you got in?"
So you asked him to recreate how he got into your house.
The crime scene.
Yes,
The
I
least
wanted
he
to be
could've
a
did was
cop.
bring you a pretzel and a beer. But go ahead.
Well, he didn't because I don't think he knew what the Lederhosen was all about.
Yeah, no.
But they were, because you know what? I asked him, "Why did you take them?" He said, "Because I forgot where my pants were." And I asked him if did he imbibe in all sorts of stuff the night before?
And
Yes.
And he said he was at a friend's house and he can't really remember much. He drank too much. I said, "What else did you do?" He can't remember.
well,
Well, did you tell him that that's what you usually did when you wore the Lederhosen?
Well, no, I wouldn't admit to that because then it would be not a very nice thing because he would think that he was in good company.
so he
And
left.
George, where did you learn how to dance in Lederhosen?
I've never done that because if you dance with the Lederhosen on, you got to slap yourself.
Yes.
And
you got- yeah.
I tried that a couple of times, and instead of hitting the head, I went down below and it hurt.
I've actually paid girls to do that.
Right. Yeah. So George, as we wrap up here on Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy, we're talking about. Here's a story from news from around the world. We found the victim of the
Was he young, George? Was he a young guy?
How old was he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a young guy.
Young guy. Okay, young man. Yeah, go back to YMCA. So he left
A
his
young
friend.
person, we have to say, 'cause we don't know what his actual what he thought his
Identifies
gender
as.
was.
Okay, so young person. Yeah, it doesn't quite fit in the song, but it's okay. So he had drinks at his friend's house. He left his friend's house without pants. He was looking for pants. Found your door unopened. So you have.
No, he had pants, Nick. He just probably thought he was at home and took his clothes off in George's house, and then realized he doesn't have his clothes. Found George's Lederhosen, popped that on, went outside looking for an Oktoberfest, didn't find it, came back the next day, returned the stuff because he wanted to get his stuff back. Did you press charges, George?
You know something? By the way, Nick, if I may be so bold,
Yeah, you can call me Nick.
Roy is, he's a very smart man.
Thank you. Thank you. I
Yeah.
try to tell Nick this all the time.
Yeah, that's right.
It must be the heat from Florida. But no.
It bakes your brain.
So George, as we leave here on Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy, do you have any advice to our audience so that none of this happens to their home, as it were?
I'll tell you what you do, George. You better get a safe and put all your ethnic clothing in a safe.
But no, because I have a lot of ethnic clothing. But okay, you want some advice from the guy that got
any from Victoria's Secret, George?
Yeah. Your secret's fine with us. Can we call you George?
Every night. That goes for you, Roy, and for Nick. Trust me. You have to trust me. Always make sure you walk around your house or apartment checking all the doors that they should be locked.
Okay. This is good advice for everyone listening. George is a man who was violated.
Right.
They stole his clothes.
His lederhosen. And here's the other moral to this story, okay? Well, first of all, it's a Canadian robbery story because the guy came back and brought back the stuff he stole.
Yeah, and did he apologize at least, George?
Oh, yes. He just said, but I loved it because he came back to apologize and he used the word, I'm sorry for the incident.
Yeah, there you go. So he was fully aware of what he had done then. If he called it
George, you seem like a really nice guy, so you did not have him incarcerated, correct?
No.
Okay.
George is a nice guy. George is a humanitarian. Yeah. This is why they call him the King of the Oktoberfest.
So if you're in the Kitchener area, which is just outside of Toronto, in the month of October, check out George. We'll call him George. And
do you still do it, George? You do it?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to be famous now.
Yeah. So check it out. You come to Kitchener. You come to the Toronto area. Do you have a website, George?
As a matter of fact, yes.
Okay, so you know what we'll do? We'll put a link on our website so that you don't reveal your true identity. So we want to thank you very much for joining us. And so that you know, guests of Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy, accommodations are provided by the guest because we have no budget.
In other words, you're going to send somebody else to my house?
Yes.
No, listen. You think George felt violated when they stole his clothes? Could you imagine how he felt when we called him?
Who is this? It's okay.
Hey, listen, Nick and Roy, Totally Useless Information.
Yes.
I think it's a fantastic thing you guys are doing. And it's so nice that I should talk to you this way because I'm sort of computer illiterate,
It's okay.
Oh, I know. It took George about 35 tries to get on the Zoom meeting.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
No, I'm joking.
Roy, it was 36 tries.
36. Who's counting?
That's right. Well, again, we'll call him George. The victim of this Lederhosen Heist. We thank you. It was what? Sorry.
It's a heinous crime.
It's a heinous crime. It's a Lederhosen heinous heist.
So I think we should say Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen. Thanks,
Great
George.
meeting you, George.
Take care.
A pleasure.
Bye.
Doc, I'm going to go to leave now. Leave. Okay, bye.
Leave. Bye.
Bye-bye.
We got such a response from this show. I can't even tell you. We just kept getting responses and people, because we air the show once a week, but people go to nickandroy.com and they listen to shows, previous shows that you can listen to the entire library of shows at nickandroy.com.
Right.
But people were listening to this show and we got such an overwhelming response that months and months later, we decide to catch up again with George and discuss what's been happening in reference to this particular crime.
Of course, we'll play that in the next segment, but just to give you a little glimpse of what was written beautifully in his obituary, George Kash will be remembered by so many for his incredible heart and beautiful soul. He was a fantastic man through and through, and George spent many years putting smiles on faces through his true passion as Mr. Oktoberfest and, of course, Santa and the Santa Claus Parade for many years. George's talents and charisma have taken him around the world where a chance of "on your head" always followed. George was made famous, of course, of drinking beer upside down. George Kash has left the stage for the last time, and he can now finally take a break. But we're replaying some of the moments on our show. But those of you who are asking, in place of gifts or flowers, please donate to Lissard and Innisfree Hospice. That's Lisaard and Innisfree. Lissard and Innisfree Hospice, or the Variety Club of Ontario. You're listening to a very special, totally useless information with Nick and Roy as we pay tribute to George Kash.
Round and firm and fully packed, it was hanging on the rack. Someone snuck in through the back, they ripped off the kishka. Who stole the kishka? Who stole the kishka? Who stole the kishka from the butcher shop? Hey! Who stole the kishka? Who stole the kishka? Who stole the kishka? Someone call a cop.
You won't see the engineer that slams the Nissan Rogue's door 13,920 times, or the corrosive chamber that simulates 15 years of life in 5 months, or the Rogue heat-baked for over 300 combined hours. What you will see is a vehicle that can take punch after punch and keep rolling. Nissan, #1 in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands by J.D. Power. We put it through the worst, so you get its best. For J.D. Power 2025 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Awards based on 2025 model year. Newer models may be shown.
Welcome back to a very special episode of Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy as we pay tribute to George Kash. Now, we're about to replay an interview we did with George a few months after the great Lederhosen Heist. He did get his Lederhosen back, of course, and we also asked him about Oktoberfest and how he got started and, of course, the history of Oktoberfest and the many hats. Here now is George Kash as our guest on Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy as he prepares for Oktoberfest.
Willkommen, bienvenue, benvenuto, bonjour. Welcome to Customs and Traditions with Nick and Roy.
Wow. There you go. So we are bringing back a guest, and actually he was a victim, and we bring him back for a follow-up interview.
He was a victim of a heinous crime.
He was a victim of the Lederhosen Heist, if you remember, a few weeks ago.
Which, by the way, is one of our most listened to episodes. If you haven't heard it, go back and listen to it.
Well, the reason why we're bringing back the victim of the Lederhosen Heist is because he has his Lederhosen back. He is dubbed the King of Oktoberfest. George.
Nick, yes. He's not just that. I call him the Duke of Detectives, the Prince of Policing, the King of the Oktoberfest, George Mr. Oktoberfest.
Wow. Welcome, George.
Boy, what an introduction. Boy. I'm so impressed.
What, can we call you George? Because I know we changed your name.
By all means. Okay. That's what my mommy called me.
I would like to open up, George. You did get your Lederhosen back?
First of all, yeah, I did get my Lederhosen back. A little bit on the dirty side. I had to get them cleaned, etc., etc.
So explain to us what goes on in Oktoberfest, because you have been, how many years have you been part of Oktoberfest?
Let's go back from 1968.
Wow.
Do the math.
That's Nick's department.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
you've been doing it at least 5 years.
Yeah. 74.
No, 1968.
Yeah. What got you involved in Oktoberfest? Like, how did you start all that?
Way back when I had what they called a legitimate kosher type job, if you were to use that expression, it was I was a business type man, and someone said, "Hey, you own some drumsticks and a drum?" I said, "Yes." I need somebody to fill in, because the guy that I use as a drummer, and this was a German guy that had a little band, and he said the guy hated polkas. I said, so I was born with polkas up my you-know-what. So anyway, I went there, and that was in Kitchener, of course, if I can mention that. And I said, this is craziness. This is fun. This is nuts.
George, I listened to that episode that you were on with us. And a lot of people wrote into us and they said, this poor guy, somebody broke in his house and stole this man's leather clothing for a German festival. And we literally had to send people information to say, yes, that's the truth. We didn't make it up. And so people are interested to hear from you, George. I'm glad that we have you back on to clear any of these things up.
And I'm glad the pants, I call them pants, but my Lederhosen fit very well. Good. And they look good. And as a matter of fact, now that you're mentioning it, I think wearing them, I should try some twerking with them.
You should, definitely. But don't twerk too much because that leather can chafe, you know?
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
Might want to you might start a fire or something.
So for those of you who don't know the story, so basically someone broke into allegedly George's house, and they stole a bunch of things, including his lederhosen. Now, being Mr. Oktoberfest, you need the lederhosen. So what is the significance of the lederhosen? As part of a costume that you have? What is the significance of a lederhosen?
Oh, well, first of all, they're made out of leather. And they started way back when to have a pair of lederhosen meant you could wear those forever. You didn't have to buy every year or something because they last forever. My lederhosen.
That's what the cow thought.
Well, yeah, that's what the cow thought until somebody said, hey, we can use your covering. Yeah. And so my lederhosen, believe it or not, that's why it was sentimental, not just because of the leather. I bought them, believe it or not. They came from Germany in 1975.
Wow. So you bought these you have these are now like an heirloom for you.
Yes.
Do you leave the fly open to get the heirloom?
No, because so you're familiar with the little flip flap.
Yes. Let me tell you, I had a pair of lederhosen as a kid, George. I don't know if you remember me telling you that. My grandmother was from Bavaria, and she bought me a pair of lederhosen. So from the age of I don't remember, but from maybe 5 to 8, I was able to wear these lederhosen, you know. And so we would go to the Oktoberfests or some German festivals, the Schwaben festivals, and I would dress in lederhosen, you know. So
did you ever have to, if I may ask you a question then, did you ever, when you had to go to the bathroom to go have a wee, did you drop the flap?
Well, I was 5, so most of the time I just peed my pants.
So, do we have pictures of you in lederhosen?
I'm still doing it sometimes, George, now, you know?
Yeah, whether you're 5 or 65, it's the same result.
George, so you got them back.
Yes.
The guy brings them back to you. You have them clean. Do you have them in a safer spot now? Not to give away where they are in your household. You don't want to do that.
Right.
But no. If somebody wanted to break into my house, go looking for my lederhosen, they would have a problem because I have cameras everywhere now.
So you did put together some sort of alarm type system now so that you will be aware if somebody comes in to try to get them.
And I have a dog.
Oh, so now you even got a dog. Is it a German Shepherd, I hope? A German Shepherd?
No, an English bulldog.
Dachshund? Oh, an English bulldog. So you're mocking the English.
Right. Yeah, and so are we on Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy.
Nick, his English dog has a cigar in his mouth, and he says, never, never, never.
Exactly.
We'll have to train him for that.
So you call him Churchill, the dog?
No. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Sir Lewis Hamilton.
Oh, very dignified.
Wow. Does he wear a powdered wig?
Powdered wig?
No.
So
you have a 24-hour surveillance on closed circuit television. So this is not available anywhere. This is only on closed circuit, 24-hour surveillance of your lederhosen. We'll call it the lederhosen cam. Can we call it the lederhosen cam?
Oh, that would be fantastic.
And I think I'm going to give you a good idea, George. Maybe people can write in and boost this up. But I think George should start a website called Guard My Lederhosen, where people can come onto your website and just watch what's going on in your house. You got to be very careful how you walk around, George.
That's right.
But they're going to see the bulldog there and Sir Lancelot, and you know,
Lancelot. Yeah, and that'll also have a monthly fee attached to it.
Oh, it would have to, because Roy wants a monthly fee just to show his old lederhosen when he was a little guy.
Yeah,
I'd watch that. If I put that lederhosen on, first off, I probably couldn't get it past my calf.
He could wear it as a wristband.
Yeah, exactly.
I love
it. Hey, mine had the little coin pocket on the suspenders with the Edelweiss made out of ivory. Oh yeah, this was some big deal Bavarian lederhosen.
It was.
And I had the green socks with the black shoes to do the dance.
Well, you know what? If I may interject, I would love to see somehow Roy doing the little shoe pluckers, slappy, bangy stuff.
Yeah.
So I will do the lederhosen thing. If I can't find the lederhosen I'll probably have to wear some of my latex clothing.
Yes, another for $19.95 a month. So, no, I don't know if you know this, George, but because I wanted to be prepared because, to be honest with you, I get a little intimidated when I interview you because you are of such high regard. Apparently, the first Oktoberfest was held to honor the marriage of Prince Ludwig and Therese of Saxe-Hildburghausen.
That's how prepared he is.
That's
George.
right, in 1810. So it was a wedding party. And that wedding party eventually ended with a horse party. They all went horseback riding. Now,
did you know this, George?
I guess, bits and pieces, because after all, I have to find out where it all started.
That's true.
That's right. Now, Albert Einstein, he was a smart guy. He once worked there as an electrician in 1896, and he even helped out to set up one of the tents, because there are many tents in this Oktoberfest party, of course. You're listening to a very special, totally useless information with Nick and Roy as we pay tribute to George Kash.
You won't see the engineer that slams the Nissan Rogue's door 13,920 times. Or the corrosive chamber that simulates 15 years of life in 5 months. Or the Rogue heat-baked for over 300 combined hours. What you will see is a vehicle that can take punch after punch and keep rolling. Nissan, #1 in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands by J.D. Power. We put it through the worst, so you get its best. For J.D. Power 2025 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Awards based on 2025 model year. Newer models may be shown.
Welcome back to a very special episode of Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy as we pay tribute to George Kash.
And the thing is, there was a lady, a Fraulein, that was carrying this year apparently 18 1-liter steins filled with beer. She picked up at a table, pushed them close together, and then brought them towards her chest and walked a certain distance, and they carried 18. Could you think you could do that?
Do you wear a hat or anything? What else is part of your costume with the Lederhosen?
Well, the socks and then the Lederhosen. See, I have the long Lederhosen, the Bundhosen, they come down to the knees. Okay. I also have the shorts like Roy would have worn as a kid. Right. The little ones with the the flip-flop. Yeah, I do have the flip-flop. That's my door. I call that the pee-pee door.
The pee-pee door, yeah.
Yes, and then, of course, I decided this year we're going to wear different type shirts instead of traditional blue and white diamond-shaped Bavarian-style shirts. We're going with golf shirts that are right off the wall, just to be different.
That would be different now. The reason why I ask about hats is because in part of my research, the fine research that I did to be prepared for your show, is you're listening to Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy. And
I know the hat, Nick. It's the felt hat.
That's right, and it felt good. The more apparently the type of hat that you wore, right? It was determined how wealthy you were. So the more tufts of goat that you had on your hat, the wealthier you were considered to be. So they used these tufts of goat way back when.
Which is pretty much goat poop. Well, no.
That's right. So you might be rich, but the poor goat, because he has no tufts.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. So,
Nick, again,
yeah,
the hats were usually made out of almost like a green felt, and they had the brims would have had, I guess, the goat hair or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah.
And then again, the Edelweiss plays in, because you'd have a sprick of that Edelweiss, which is a flower that you can only get way up where nothing else grows. The Edelweiss grows in the Alps, and they
something, gentlemen. I am so impressed with the fact that Roy is not only filled with useless information, he seems to come out with useful information.
That's right.
I am so impressed.
And you know what? First of all, we apologize. And number two, we have a sound for that. Whenever there's useful information, we
play that. Yeah.
It's a little dusty. I haven't used it in a while, so I had to dust it.
George brings it out of me, I think, Nick.
Yeah, he does.
I'll tell you the truth. I think it's just that countryman type thing,
So what other instruments do you have in your ensemble? Because you're a drummer, so what other instruments
I usually work as a quartet with trumpet, saxophone, flute, and keyboard / accordion and drums, which means 3 musicians and a drummer.
Wow. So me and George have a lot in common. We both have the German thing going. We're both musicians and performers.
Mm-hmm.
And we both like to, on the weekends, dress up in furry costumes. Is that true, George?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I have to think about that. I definitely have to think about that. But, when I go to do Oktoberfest, I wear my outfit. It doesn't matter where I am.
So wait a minute. So you go dressed in your lederhosen? You don't go into a dressing room and
No.
Of course
You
not.
you don't wear lederhosen and go hide.
No, come on, Nick.
Oh, well, I don't know.
Now, Nick, you have the opportunity to go there. I am not in Canada. You are. So you could go to Oktoberfest, which I would hope that there's a possibility that you may be able to go this year with recording device and get a little bit of the whole thing that's going on.
Well, because it is totally useless information, then I would have to get from Nick some useful information, such as sizing, height, weight, waist length, and all that usual stuff. And I will see how I could make an arrangement to see that Nick ends up getting a nice pair of lederhosen that he will have to wear during the month to the end of October, no matter where he is and whatever day it is.
Right.
See, this is George is really, he's the man.
Yeah.
I have to say.
He's the king. He's the king of Oktoberfest.
Yeah. There's no doubt.
Yeah. Even though, like, England has a new king, Canada has a new king, George has always been the king of Oktoberfest.
I was going to say, the king of England, he's like new. So he hasn't proven himself. George, since 68.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. George is like...
So, George, I do have a sample of you playing at Oktoberfest.
Around and ferment fully packed, it was hanging on the rack. Someone snuck in through the back. They ripped off the kishka. Who stole the kishka? Who stole the kishka? Who stole the kishka from the butcher shop? Hey, who stole the kishka? Who stole the kishka? Who stole the kishka? Someone call a cop.
1, 2, 3, super!
There you go. Now, there's
Who stole the lederhosen this year?
That's right. Well, we're going to change it to Who Stole the Lederhosen. But right now we have
Who stole the lederhosen?
GeorgeKash.net. That's GeorgeKash, GeorgeKash.net. That's your website. You go there, find out all kinds of information. If you can't make it to Canada, you can certainly check out the audio and some video there as well. But I will try to go down.
And his password is 1, 2, 3, super.
Right. Try to spell that one. George, we can't thank you enough for joining us once again on Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy.
Listen, guys, have fun. And I keep listening to find out if I can get little snippets of useful information. And there's the odd one that sneaks in.
Yeah.
But the useless information, that's phenomenal.
Yeah, if you're the king of Oktoberfest, we're the kings of useless information.
Well, danke schön, George, und auf Wiedersehen.
Yeah, well, danke schön, and ciao, and grazie, and 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, danke schön, and I'll have a schnitzel.
It's a cliche to say what I'm about to say, but there's not too many people in this world that you could say this about. But honestly and truly, the world's a better place because of George Kash. Anybody that knew this man would tell you that. And I think that's the perfect way to describe him. And what a perfect life to lead when so many people feel that way about you.
Exactly. And it didn't matter how he touched everyone, and he did. And I mean, some of the inside jokes where I had the good fortune of visiting. Actually, my wife and I went to visit George actually the day before he did pass on, and we had the good fortune of meeting some of his other members of his family, and we gathered around, and he was still with us, but he was able to hear us at least. And we were just sharing stories, and it didn't matter whether you were related to him or some business dealings. And there was he was a great collector of things. Now, he wasn't a hoarder. He was a collector of memorabilia, and he did a lot of stuff. He was in TV shows. He was in movies. He was in many commercials. He was involved in so many festivals and events around Southern Ontario and in Manitoba as well. Like, he was in a couple of movies. Like, he did it all, and he had basically memorabilia of every single one of the things that he had done. And so there were a lot of things, and then everyone just said, well, George used to tell us, how did you get this? He would often tell them, don't ask. That was the thing. And so no matter what it was, George, how did you wind up with, don't ask. Yeah, we lost someone. I do miss him. But you know what? I thought we would take this time, and we thank you for listening to us and paying tribute to a very special person that may have left us, may have, exited stage left. But you know what? George Kash will live with us for many, many years to come because of what you said, Roy, because he made it a point that you had a great time. It was truly the George Kash experience.
It will be missed.